Okay, so I'm not sure how far we'll get, but this is just a quick overview of where I'm gonna get started, and I'm gonna show you each and every book. So the first one is up here. It's called Hoe overleef ik mijn vakantie in Frankrijk, which means how do I survive my holiday in France? And it's from a pretty popular children's series, a Dutch children's series by Francine Omen. And I actually have a lot of books from this series. I really used to love it. It has all these tips about growing up and stuff like that, and it's really funny. And this is basically a phrase book with some really handy phrases in it and some really weird phrases in it. Here it says something is nibbling on my toe and how you say that in French. So yeah, weird stuff and useful stuff. And I bought it because I'm going to France this summer. Here we have a really old relic of mine. Used to be one of my cell phones, and I still keep it because I have this cell phone holder. And yeah, that's basically the only reason. I just like the way it looks there. Oh, don't fall. Everything's about to fall here. So the first book is 8 Days of Look by Diane Wynne Jones. I really love this book. I have a book review on it in one of my wrap-ups. I love every book by Diane Wynne Jones. If you don't know her, look her up because she's amazing. You might actually know House Moving Castle because it's a pretty popular anime movie as well. It was adapted into an anime movie, and this book kind of deals with the Norse gods, so Loki and everyone, Thor, and it's just really good and really interesting to read, and I absolutely loved it. Next on my shelf is Fire and Hemlock, also by Diane Wynne Jones. Really like the story. It took me a while to get into it because it's a little bit weird. It took me a while to get the point of the story. But once I once I got into the story, I really liked it, and I recommend this book as well. Shit, I knew that was gonna happen. No. My Groot is headless. That was one of those guys. What are they called again? Haha, get it? Because you get it? No. The Silent. The Fall beheaded my Groot. I'm just gonna leave those somewhere else so that they don't fall again. Okay, next up is the Raven Boy series, which was actually in the right order. So, and I have more series here that are in the right order, so I hope you're really proud of me. It's the Raven Boy series by Maggie Stiefvater. This is book 1, The Raven Boys, book 2, The Dream Thieves, and book 3, Blue Lily Lily Blue. And I think the 4th book is coming out somewhere this year, and I can't wait. It has magic in it, it has mystery in it, also just, you know, kids hanging out. It's basically about this boy who likes to solve mysteries. He goes all around the world, he's pretty rich, and solves mysteries, and now he's in a boarding school in this town where Blue lives, who's sort of the main character. You kind of follow her, and it's also from other points of view, but you kind of get the sense that Blue's the main character, especially in the first book. She really is. Anyway, he's there because he believes that he can find this old king that he's been looking for, that's supposedly lying dormant, lying sleeping. If you wake him, you get wishes. It's kind of a mix between a genie and King Arthur. The legend, you know, that he'll wake up and save England. But there are these ley lines, these special lines that have magic in them, and he thinks that the king's buried on one of those ley lines, and Blue ends up helping him and the boys, and they find magical stuff and everything. And yeah, all these books are about that, and they're really good. And if you haven't read anything yet by Maggie Stiefvater, I haven't read books yet by her that I didn't like. The Shiver series was a series that I stopped reading though. I did like it, but for some reason I just never finished part 2 even, I think. It's probably one of those series that I need to reread in a while because I just wasn't in the mood for it then. Next on the shelf, oh, you can see the shelf, that's good. I thought I would do it like this so you'd actually see me and not just me holding up books trying to keep the camera steady. When I go to the other books, I'm gonna do it the same way I did with the first video because I need to hold the camera then. Really interesting, I know. The next books are The Assassin's Curse and The Pirate's Wish, Part 1 and Part 2 by Cassandra Rose Clark. Also in my wrap-up series, all of the books so far. I think most of the books here are going to be in my wrap-ups and hauls, so if you want to know more about it you can look at those videos. But basically it's about this girl who is a pirate, and she's supposed to marry a boy from another pirate clan, but she doesn't just want to be married off, she wants to live her own life, have her own ship, and she doesn't even like this boy. Like the one time she met him, they didn't really get to meet before they were supposed to get married, but she was like, no way. So she got out of there. The other pirate clan kind of got mad at that, because I suppose it is kind of offensive if the girl runs away from your baby boy. And they sent an assassin after her, but she somehow ends up binding herself to this assassin with a curse, meaning that he has to protect her, and whenever she's in danger he is in pain, so he can't kill her or anything, and he needs to be with her, which they both find really annoying. But anyway, it's a really fun book, Part 1 and Part 2, and I really recommend them. Next we have Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier. This is a book that I saw in Germany, because it's originally German, and I absolutely love the cover, but I couldn't really find out then if they were originally German. I think they might have been in plastic for some weird reason. Maybe they just come in the store, I have no idea. But I loved the cover, and for like 1 or 2 years I always thought, oh yeah, I need to look that up, oh yeah, I need to look it up and see if it's originally Dutch, and see if it's originally German or English, and turns out it's originally German. But I decided to buy the English one anyway, because a friend of mine, she really recommended them, said I really needed to read them now. And yeah, if I read in German it's a bit more slow going, and my German is pretty good, but not, you know, I'm not as confident in reading German books as I am with Dutch and English books, so I enjoy them more if they're in English. I do read German books occasionally to, you know, improve my German, but for this series I decided to go with the English one. It's about time traveling and this girl and gifts, and it's really interesting. There's a mystery element in it as well, and just the time traveling really got me hooked. Again, these are in wrap-up and haul videos of mine. I have no idea which ones. If you want to know more about all these books, I just recommend watching all of them, if you want to. I also have Part 2 and 3, and I really love the covers, by the way. I think they are beautiful. The German covers are also really pretty, and the Dutch covers as well. They're the same as the German covers. But I really like these as well, the English ones. So yeah, I really recommend them. So it's Ruby Red, it's Sapphire Blue, and Emerald Green. So these books here, I said this in my last video, let me just get them, are books basically that I got recently. Some of them I still have to read, most of them I read. If I just read books and I really enjoyed them, I don't want to put them in storage right away. If you see my previous video, I told you I have over 900 books. I counted them. I have over 900 books, and I know how insane that is. Like, it's insane. It's gone way out of hand, but I really love it. So yeah, these are the books that I recently bought or read, and I just need to put them on my shelf. I couldn't bear to just put them in storage so I could fit other books here. Which means that I have a shortage of room, by the way. I still have piles of books there on my desk that I need to find the space for. Moving on, next is Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea by April G. Tusholky? I have no idea. Yeah, there you can read it. Really good. Mystery, fantasy, kind of creepiness as well. I just really like this book. Again, I talked about this one before. I recommend you check it out. Ooh, then we have the first Doctor Who book I ever read. This is Beautiful Chaos by Gary Russell, and it's with David Tennant, the David Tennant Doctor, the 10th Doctor. He is, I'm not quite sure if he's still my favorite Doctor. He used to be my favorite Doctor for a long while. But Matt Smith kind of crept up in there, and I think they just share the first place. They're both my favorite Doctor. This will always be the Doctor that got me incredibly hooked to Doctor Who and just made me so happy to watch it. But Matt Smith was also so amazing and such funny, amazing, super fantastical episodes. I really love Doctor Who. But yeah, this is a book, it's like I said, it's called Beautiful Chaos. It's basically just another, like, reading an episode. I don't actually remember that much from this book. It's been a while, and then I watched so many Matt Smith episodes, because I think I bought this like in between Dave Tennant and Matt Smith. So I kind of forgot what it was about, but I think Donna was in it, and there was something with a telescope and looking into space, and then something was headed towards Earth. But anyway, I know that I really liked it, so if you want to read Doctor Who books, I recommend this one, because even though I don't really remember what it was about, I do remember that I really liked it. Next on the shelf is a book with one of my favorite titles ever, Murder Most Unladylike. It's basically a kind of a Victorian novel, crime novel. It's these two kids who go to a boarding school, and they have this crime solving club, this detective club, but they don't really have actual crimes until one of them finds the dead body of one of their teachers. And when she runs to get the other girl and the more teachers, the body has disappeared by the time they come back. So they have to prove who did the murder and prove that the murder actually happened to begin with. And it's really good, and I know part 2 I think is out, and maybe even more, and so I can't wait to get those two and read them. So now we kind of get a Sherlock Holmes section. This book is a Professor Moriarty novel. It's called The Infernal Device, not to be confused with The Infernal Devices. It's by Michael Kurland, and I haven't read it yet. I really want to read it. Basically, it's a Sherlock Holmes book, but it's starring Moriarty, and I think he's kind of the good guy in this, and that Sherlock is just kind of annoying and in the way. So I'm really interested to see how he wrote this, and if Moriarty is really the hero, and if he manages to make us kind of dislike or be annoyed about Sherlock. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this one. The classics, but then with the new BBC cover of the series. I know a lot of people hate these new covers, or new covers of any book that have the TV series on it, or the newest adaptation of a film, but usually I don't really dislike them, but usually I either already have the book, or sometimes I do like the original cover better. But yeah, it wasn't as if I had enough Sherlock Holmes books already. But I really absolutely adore the BBC series. If you haven't seen it yet, I really recommend it. It's really good. It's basically just a lot of short movies, not even that short actually. It's basically just a lot of movies, one after another. But this, The Hounds of Baskerville, let's see. A Study in Scarlet, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I think I like this cover best. It's the first one that I got. I bought all these at HMV, I think. They were only £2 there. The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, and I have The Sign of 4. I'm not actually sure if these are all the books, but if they aren't, then I still need to buy some. And yeah, I'm actually not sure, because I have like the collected works, and I have one other that has The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I'm not actually sure how many like separate volumes there are, but I have all these and I really love them. I'm gonna show you the first few later, because I'm gonna need to take my camera off the tripod to show them to you. But for now, I'm just gonna show you the ones that I can manage to get out, I think. Probably should have planned this better. Serafina. Is it in focus? Yes. Serafina by Rachel Hartman. This is a book that I basically got because of the cover, because it has all these houses in it, like drawn in a style that I really like, and a dragon. I'm not quite sure what it's about. Something about a murder and a mystery and a girl that gets kind of sucked into it, and dragons. So the back says, equal parts fast-paced fantasy, crime mystery, bittersweet romance, and political thriller. This is an astonishing original take on the dragon myth. So yeah, that got me, and I still haven't read it yet, but I'm planning to read it soon. Then we have The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland on a device of her own making. Oh, in a ship of her own making. by Catherine M. Valente, I think, with Cool Dragon on top. Basically, this is kind of a fairy tale, but for grown-ups. I read it and didn't really get the feeling that it was entirely for children. Like, children could read it, depending on, you know, what kind of stuff you like to read and how old you are. But there was often a nudge towards the reader that kind of made me think that it was aimed at grown-ups. Anyway, it's about this girl. It's kind of Alice in Wonderland-ish. It's about this girl who goes to Fantasyland or Fairyland. And yeah, basically has a quest there, and she needs to find the way back home. And I think she meets people and tells them that she's gonna help them. And there's this evil queen who's kind of ruining everyone's day. And it's really funny. It's hilarious. And it has a lot of the same kind of humor in it that Alice in Wonderland had. At least I think so. That kind of similar humor in it. Yeah, I really recommend this book. It was really good. The Throne of Glass series. This is by Sarah J. Maas, or Maas. And this series is amazing. It's about this kick-ass assassin girl who got caught one day, so yeah, that kind of sucked for her, and sent to prison. Basically, it's a prison where people don't even last half a year, and she's been there for 2 years doing hard labor and everything. And then the prince shows up and tells her that he's going to free her if she agrees to be his champion, because his father has this sort of game set up that everyone in his court is gonna pick a champion, or at least some people are participating are, and the one who wins is going to be the personal, I think, assassin or personal bodyguard or something like that, to the king. And she agrees because she doesn't want to be in prison anymore and just figures she'll find a way to get out of it or just win. So yeah, they basically all have to fight each other, and it's really cool. It's hilarious. The whole series is hilarious. I'll show you the other parts. This is Crown of Midnight, which is part 2, and just looks awesome. I really love these covers. So yeah, it's funny. It has action in it. It has romance in it, and mystery, and basically it's just the perfect series. And I still have to read one of the parts, I think. I read these two. Yeah, I've read this one as well, Air of Fire. And I think there's another one coming out soon, or maybe it is already out, and then I have to reread the whole series again. Which isn't a punishment, by the way, it's just that I've read so many books. But yeah, those are really cool. And then we also have, which I haven't read yet, The Assassin's Blade, which, if I remember correctly, yeah, it's 3 Throne of Glass novellas. So the whole series is called Throne of Glass series, and these are 3 short novellas that I think she published as ebooks, and now they're also in paperback format. And I haven't read them yet because I basically figured if there's gonna be another part, then I'm just gonna reread the entire series and then read this one whilst I'm really into the world again and into the series. Okay, this isn't really working. I'm just gonna take you with me. Ah, there you go. Okay, so here, these are the books I just showed you. This is how they look on my shelf, my little doggy. And then here we have all the Narnia books. I actually had 2 sets of these. I didn't realize that. Oh no, actually I did. I bought 2 sets of them because I found another set with covers that I found really beautiful. This is the set that I have. Of course you fell down there. This is the set I have now with these kind of covers. I really like these. And I bought another set, but yeah, I'm kind of don't have enough space for all of my books. Get in there. Okay, I have to put you down. 1 sec. I finally managed to get it in. That's my Torchwood. These are my DVDs. So yeah, yeah, these are the ones that I kept because I had another box with kind of a similar box, but they had different covers. But I don't have enough room for all of my books, and my dad didn't have these books yet. He didn't have the Narnia books, which he found pretty strange. I found pretty strange. But yeah, I gave them to my dad because he didn't have them yet. Here we have some tiny dictionaries. Alright, these are the books I haven't shown you yet. Deep Secret and the Merlin Conspiracy, also by Deanna Wynne Jones, and I really like them, but they weren't my favorite books that I've read by her. I like the Crestomanci series and the House Moving Castle series better. I also like 8 Days of Luke better, but I think they're kind of on the same level as Fire and Hemlock in like how much I like them. I did really enjoy them though, and I do recommend them, but just compared to the other books, I like the other books better, but I still really, really love them. Oh, I skipped one. This is The Fault in Our Stars, the audiobook, one of the few audiobooks I own, and John Green himself actually read the book, and his voice is actually really pleasant to listen to, so I don't think I've listened to the entire book yet, but I've gone pretty far and I've read the book like 2 or 3 times already, so I'm really glad I bought this one. And it came with these extras, like these cards and a bracelet and everything. And I'm really happy I have it. These are the other books I showed you. I'm just going to show them to you like this. Okay, so here we have Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. As you can see, this one is slightly bigger than the other ones, which kind of annoys me, but I have gotten pretty good to get past the fact that sometimes one of the parts is going to be bigger than the others, or, you know, different format. But yeah, anyway, I really loved these books. The first book, they're basically kind of funny, sweet, romancy, young adult books, but I recommend them for, like, if you're younger, if you think you're too young, there's nothing like graphic or anything in it, you can just, I think anyone could basically read this, but you don't have to be like the young adult target age obviously to read this book or any of these books. So yeah, I really recommend them to anyone. My mom actually read this one and really liked it. The first book focuses on Anna, and she's in France. She's in this boarding school in France. So I really like that aspect as well, because you got to know a lot about Paris. The second one takes place, I think, in LA. Yeah, I think so, judging by the bridge there. And was also really, really good. And the third one, I think, takes place in New York, and a bit in France as well. And what I love about it is that you can basically read them as standalones. These are the wrong way around again. If you've seen my last video, and I just talked about it as well, I tend to put books the wrong way around. Like here, the Harry Potter books, I start with the last one and finish with the first one. Did the same thing with these here, but so basically you can read them as a standalone, but characters do come back as minor characters. So Anna comes back in Lola and Isla, and if you haven't read Anna yet, but you read one of these, you do know what happens to Anna. Like, it's kind of spoilers. So I recommend, if you want to read all 3 books, that you start with Anna, then Lola, and then Isla. Next we have The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. It deals a lot with mental health and also a bit with guilt and stuff like that, and getting better and dealing with your emotions and what happened. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed it, and I talked about it more in one of my wrap-up videos. Then we have 3 notebooks, one of which, if I can get it out, I put stickers on myself. It says wibbly wobbly timey wimey, and then here you have Hello Doctor, which is Hello Kitty and the Doctor. Then we have, Deanna Wynne Jones Reflections, which is basically about it's reflections on the magic of writing. So a lot of it is about writing, a lot of it is also about her life. It's kind of a mix between her giving advice about writing and just talking about writing, and a biography. It's basically a collection of articles that she wrote and speeches that she did, all combined in one book, and I really recommend it. It's really good. The last book here is... sorry puppy. I'm gonna sit down. The last book here is Wonder Book by Jeff Vandermeer, as this awesome city on it with a whale. Let me just get more comfortable. Ooh, knocked into the doctor. Basically it has, I haven't read it yet, I started reading it, but it just has all these awesome drawings and inspiration in it, and it talks all about writing. Like here's the middle part of a story, which is here, I think, represented as being terribly hard. The end of beginnings, it has the reader is all eyes, like memory. It's basically a book all about how to write, but in a really creative and fun way. Like here, I think this is basically a summary of what he probably said before, and it looks awesome. And just flicking through this book like this can give you a lot of inspiration from all the weird pictures that are in there. So yeah, I really should read this book more now that I have it in my hands. I haven't read it in a while. I have read this part, so I read a bit in it. And I really need to be reading more. So if you really like, if you're interested in writing and also inspiration books, I really recommend this book. Like I said, I haven't read it yet, or I've only read a little part, but so far I really like it. If you want like a really simple, this is how you do it, I do recommend other books because it's quite thick and it is really interesting. But if you just want like the basics, like really quick and easy, I recommend other writing books. I might actually make a video about writing books if you're interested in that, because I do have a lot, because I really love to read about writing. I write myself, and basically even books that I don't learn anything from, that I knew everything, which doesn't happen often because you always get something out of it. Yeah, even those books, I really love reading them, and I usually get a lot of inspiration. Not really inspiration for like ideas and stuff, but more I get really pumped up to start writing again. So it's really good for me to read those books, and I really enjoy it. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. And because I have books everywhere, this is basically like wedged in between this cabinet and my wall and door. There's one book here that I'm officially still reading, the Brief van de Koning, the Brief voor de Koning, which it's actually quite popular now, I think, in England, or it was a while back. I think it's just the letters for the king. Yeah, it was translated in English, and I just suddenly heard a lot of people talking about it. Yeah, I still have to finish reading it. Not really that amazingly enthusiastic so far, but who knows? It might just be the Dutch that's annoying me. I know that's bad, but yeah. Okay, so I also have The Interview with the Vampire and Dracula, which are actually my dad's copies. I should probably give those back. The World of the Hunger Games for my Hunger Games thesis wasn't really much help, but yeah, it wasn't much help at all. Then we have the Feeëngids, which is basically the fairy guide, the mythology guide, the mythical creatures Bible, and the Wicca guide, which is just a lot of information about fairies and mythical stuff and Wicca, and just a lot of, it's kind of like history books, but really interesting. And okay, history books can be interesting, but yeah, just about these mythical magical creatures, which I really like. Then we have 2 boxes, and then down here with my lightsaber and 2 what do you call them, fly swatters or something, we have my horrible history box, which I should probably place somewhere else because I really want to read more of them, but I just usually can't be bothered to remove them and get them out. So yeah, I should probably put that somewhere else. So in front of my Narnia books was this little box set. I just thought I'd sit down on my bed and show you. It's Doctor Who, the box set. I think it was 10 euros. Has a few books in it. I'm just gonna show them to you. The first one is a quick read, which is, it's really thin, so it is really quick to read. And it's called The Revenge of the Judoon. Yeah, Judoon, I think. By Terrence Dicks, and it's basically just a short, really short episode. If you, they're not the best of you know, literary wonders. But if you read it and picture the and really picture it in your mind, it's just basically like getting another Doctor Who episode. And it has the Doctor and Martha Jones. I know some people don't actually seem to like Martha Jones, but I really liked her. I liked the fact that she was basically a doctor herself, but then, you know, a doctor of medicine, and I really liked the jokes they made about that, and I just thought she was really smart and just a really fun companion. So yeah, this is one with the Judoon. I have read it. I can't really remember what it was all about. Another one with Martha Jones and the Doctor, The Pirate Loop by Simon. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. I'm sorry. I have an unpronounceable name myself. Oh yeah, I remember this one. This one's really, really funny. So basically they go and find a ship that has disappeared. The Doctor knows about it, and for some reason he's like, oh, we should go there. We should try to find it. So they find themselves on the ship, and it's basically kind of like a cruise ship with, you know, aliens on it. From our perspective at least. And when they're there, it gets attacked by these badger-like creatures who are kind of stupid and just following orders. But Martha manages to befriend one of them, and there is this loop. So basically when people die, they just come back because it's this entire loop and no one can die, and you can basically just be there for thousands of years and never grow older, and they're stuck in this loop and trying to fix it and trying to get out. So yeah, I thought it was a really funny story and I really enjoyed this one. Then you have The Wishing Well, also with Martha. I think these are all with Martha. Yes, they are. I haven't read this one yet, but it looks pretty cool. That's all I can say about it. Looks pretty cool. I don't think I've read this one either. No. Oh, awesome. Doctor Who Peacemaker by James Swallow. Oh, the last one was by Trevor Baxendale, The Wishing Well. Looks like it takes place in the Wild West, and if you know Doctor Who, if you watch Doctor Who, you have this one episode with the Gunslinger, with the Matt Smith Doctor, the 11th Doctor, which also takes place in the Wild West, and that's just a brilliant episode. I really, really love the Gunslinger. It was funny, and I like that it's placed in the Wild West. So I'm probably gonna read this really soon, because I'm really excited to see what it's all about. So yeah, those were those books. There's my setup with my pretty light. I'm not sure how long this is. I think I'm gonna keep filming. I'm gonna film, I think I'm also gonna film this shelf and then leave those shelves for later, because the top shelf is actually a double row and really hard to get to for me. I have to stand on my bed anyway. Oh, that's all my junk and stuffed animals. I have a lot of stuffed animals. I just really like them, and why not put them on my bed and everywhere, as you can see. So yeah, I'm gonna keep filming. I'm not sure why I'm telling you this,